Hello, I'm Ryan F9 and these are my favorite gloves for wet and cold weather. Right off the bat, I am not putting any heated gear on my list. I mean, if it's so cold that I need to plug myself into an electrical socket to keep warm, then maybe I shouldn't be out riding anyway. And besides, regular motorcycle gloves are way cheaper and way better at being motorcycle gear. So, this is Joe Rocket's Ballistic 7.0 and it's a whole lot of glove for $80. It's perfect for general street use. The membrane in here is Hypora, which is waterproof and breathable like Gore-Tex. But at the same time though, it's not as waterproof or as breathable as Gore-Tex. I find that it does keep my hands dry pretty well, but ventilation definitely leaves something to be desired. The glove is also lined with this fleecy material so it's comfortable and warm. Now to seal it off, I have a Velcro noose around the wrist, I have a main Velcro tab on the gauntlet, and then I have this elastic shock cord to close in the inner gaiter. Now this forms a really tight seal with my arm, so I like that, but I do wish that the gauntlet was a little bit longer, because I actually find it quite difficult to get this seated properly over top of my riding jacket. So that's the cold weather kit, but what really amazed me is how many features Joe Rocket packed in. It's a composite leather and textile chassis. Obviously the leather is going to be biased towards that abrasion area on the palm. Now there's armoring as well across the knuckles. It feels like some kind of high density foam. There's shields of that same foam across 4 of the fingers. And then of course there's accordion stretch fabric on the bendy bits. We have some high vis paneling on the top there as well. And then on the palm there's actually gel panels in here. These aren't great for impact absorption or anything like that, but they're exceptional for damping out handlebar vibrations. And finally, there's going to be a lens squeegee on the thumb and there's silicone printing on the 2 lever fingers. And Joe Rocket, well done. This is an amazing amount of technicality for an $80 waterproof glove. So that's the Ballistic 7.0. If I had more money, I could get the A-Stars Jet Road for the Gore-Tex. And if I was a really serious adventurer, maybe I'd get the Climb Element. But for my money and my riding style, the Joe Rocket is good enough and it's plenty good. Now, what if I'm a cruiser? Five makes a classic riding glove that also happens to be waterproof, and it's called the Urban Evo 1. The lining in here is Hypora, just like the previous glove. There's also a layer of Thinsulate to make it warm, and if I get too hot, then there's a layer of Micro Bemberg as well, which is a moisture wicking material. So the Urban Evo 1 has an A-team of layers: Hypora, Thinsulate, Micro Bemberg. And other than that, it's just really simple. It's a full leather construction, Velcro and elastication around the wrist, and then doubled up Clarino on the high stress areas of the palm. My main complaint with this glove is that it just looks boring. It is full grain leather, but I'd probably have to wait a year before they started developing any kind of patina. So by the time the Urban Evo 1 starts to look cool and interesting, it'll be time to replace it. But hey, in the freezing rain, I'm not going to care how boring my hands look. I'm not going to care that there's this dorky little tag that brags about the waterproof liner, or that even for $100 I don't get a single inch of armor or padding. The Urban Evo keeps me warm and dry, so I have to love it. Here's a weird one. What if I'm a hardcore sport bike rider, but I like to ride in the freezing rain? Well, Five's WFX1 waterproof glove fits the bill. We have a chassis of competition weight leather, we have a full suite of carbon woven armor, the knuckles, the fingers, the low side danger zone, the palm, the thumb, everywhere. We also get that typical Hypora membrane popping up again, and 200 grams of Thinsulate in tow. So like I said, it's a hardcore sport bike glove, but it's also set up for winter weather. And that begs the question, why? I mean, if I'm a technical sport rider, I probably would go for something less clunky and just deal with wet hands. And if I'm a sport tourer who rides all day in crazy kinds of weather, then I probably don't need this much armor to begin with. The WFX1 is targeted at motorcyclists who drag knees in sleet, and that's a really rare breed, but if you fit the description, this is a very impressive glove for $270. On a side note, Five added another weird feature to an already weird glove. And see the tips of these 2 fingers here? Well, they're reflective. And if you think about it, that doesn't really make any sense, because if I'm riding, then these 2 reflective panels are pointing straight at the ground. Of course, if I do flip somebody off in the dark, well, they're gonna know about it. And finally, I have one favorite when it comes to off-roading and motocross, and that's gonna be Fox's Polarpaw. I'll probably buy a pair of these this season. Now see, I get a fleece liner, so the glove's really warm. I also get a doubled up Clarino palm on the high stress areas. Then there's sticky silicone across the fingers in ice blue, which is rather appropriate for a cold weather glove. Up top, there's gonna be a lot of neoprene, and then there's some TPU armoring across the fingers as well. I tend to get overexcited for the dirt biking season, meaning that I hit my first ride while there's still snow on the ground. Now a glove like this keeps my digits from freezing up, but what amazes me is how slim Fox has kept the design. I can actually really feel my bike's controls through here. In a perfect world, this glove would be waterproof. but it's not. I mean, if I really want a waterproof dirt biking glove, I pretty much have to borrow from the sport bike world, get a shorty, something like the A-Star's Polar Gore-Tex. Even then though, that glove is $190, whereas the Polarpaw is only $50. By the way, my hands are 7 7/8 of an inch long, 3 3/4 across the palm, 9 inches around the palm, and I took a large in every single glove on my list, and they all fit great. That's it for my favorite rain and cold weather gloves. Thank you guys very much for watching.